The silent sentinels. The stars looked peaceful from the observation deck of the EA's horizon. Commander Elena Reyes stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the vast emptiness surrounding her ship. Humanity had been part of the galactic community for nearly 30 years now, trading resources, sharing knowledge, and forming alliances with various alien civilizations. Most species they'd encountered had been curious, cautious, or friendly. Most, but not all. "Commander, we have a situation," said Lieutenant Chen, his voice tense as he approached. "Multiple vessels just appeared at the edge of our sensor range. They're not broadcasting any identification codes." Elena's expression remained calm, though her mind raced through emergency protocols. "How many ships are we looking at, Lieutenant?" "7, ma'am. Each at least twice our size. Configuration unknown, but they're definitely warships." With a nod, Elena followed Chen to the bridge. The main screen displayed the approaching vessels, sleek, predatory shapes with sharp angles that seemed designed to intimidate. Their hulls were a deep purple-black that absorbed the light of the nearby star. "Broadcast standard greeting protocols on all frequencies," Elena ordered, settling into her command chair. The crew worked quickly, their movements efficient despite the tension filling the bridge. The main screen flickered, revealing a humanoid alien with iridescent scales covering its face. Yellow eyes with vertical pupils regarded Elena coldly. "Human vessel," the alien spoke, its voice carrying a metallic undertone through the translation system. "I am Admiral Vorex of the Craxian Empire. Your species has been permitted to play among the stars for too long." Elena maintained her composure. "Admiral Vorex, I am Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth Alliance ship Horizon. We are on a peaceful scientific mission. If we've entered Craxian territory, we apologize and will withdraw immediately." Vorex made a dismissive gesture. "The entire galaxy is Craxian territory, human. Your kind has spread like a disease, establishing colonies and outposts without proper respect for superior species. The Earth Alliance has followed all protocols established by the Galactic Council," Elena responded. "We seek peaceful coexistence." Silence. Vorex hissed, leaning closer to the screen. "The Craxian Empire does not recognize your pathetic council. Your colonies in the Orion Spur now belong to us. You have 48 Earth hours to surrender all human territories, or we will demonstrate our power by destroying your outposts one by one, concluding with your homeworld." The screen went dark before Elena could respond. "They're powering weapons systems," reported the tactical officer, her fingers flying across her console. "Reading multiple missile locks on our position." Elena's mind worked through their options. The Horizon was a research vessel with minimal defensive capabilities, certainly nothing that could stand against 7 Craxian warships. "Initiate emergency FTL jump," she ordered. "Set course for Earth, and prepare a Priority 1 message for Earth Defense Command. They need to know what we're facing." As the Horizon vanished into FTL, the Craxian ships made no move to pursue. They didn't need to. The message had been delivered. The Earth Defense Council chamber buzzed with raised voices and urgent debates. Representatives from every major Earth nation and colony world filled the circular room, their faces displaying various degrees of alarm. Admiral James Harrison, head of Earth Defense Forces, stood silently at the center, waiting for the Council President to restore order. "Quiet, please," President Alvarez finally shouted, his amplified voice cutting through the chaos. "We must approach this threat methodically." "The Craxian ultimatum expires in 30 hours, said the representative from Mars Colony. "Our intelligence suggests they have deployed over 300 warships throughout the Orion Spur. Earth's defense fleet consists of only 75 vessels, most of which are patrol ships rather than true combat vessels. We've maintained a minimal military presence deliberately," said Admiral Harrison. "After the colony wars, humanity chose peace. Our ships were designed for exploration and scientific research, not conquest. And now that decision may cost us everything," muttered the Chinese representative. Harrison straightened his shoulders. Perhaps not. All eyes turned to him. "Explain, Admiral," President Alvarez said. Harrison produced an old-fashioned physical key from his uniform pocket. It looked ancient, made of actual metal rather than the composite materials of modern technology. "When humanity first ventured beyond our solar system," Harrison began, "our leaders made a decision. We would present ourselves to the galaxy as peaceful explorers, scientists, and traders. But they weren't naive." He inserted the key into a previously unnoticed slot on the council table. The center of the table shimmered, and a holographic display materialized, showing schematics of massive ships unlike anything in the current Earth fleet. "What are we looking at?" asked President Alvarez, leaning forward. "Project Sentinel," Harrison replied. "Initiated 250 years ago, after the colony wars nearly destroyed our civilization. When peace was finally established, our ancestors faced a difficult choice: maintain powerful weapons of war and risk future conflicts, or dismantle them and potentially leave humanity vulnerable." The hologram shifted, showing massive structures hidden in asteroid fields, beneath the ice of distant moons, and in the clouds of gas giants. "They chose a third option," Harrison continued. "They built the most advanced warships and defense systems humanity had ever created, then hid them throughout our territory. A small group of officers in each generation has maintained these vessels in secret, updating their systems while preserving their capabilities." Stunned silence filled the room. "Are you saying," the European representative finally spoke, "that we have a hidden fleet?" Harrison nodded. 27 Guardian-class vessels, each more powerful than anything currently known in the galaxy, plus automated defense platforms throughout human space, all maintained by AI systems, and a skeleton crew of human guardians for generations. "Why weren't we informed of this?" demanded the African Union representative. "Because secrecy was essential," Harrison replied. "The fewer people who knew, the less likely the knowledge would spread. Even I only learned of Project Sentinel when I became Admiral." "And these ships?" President Alvarez asked. "They're operational." Harrison allowed himself a small smile. "Yes, sir. They can be activated within 12 hours. Lieutenant Maya Sharma stood on the observation platform of Sarah's station, watching as technicians prepared her shuttle. Her orders had been cryptic: report to coordinates in the outer solar system for a special assignment. But rumors had spread quickly among the officer corps after the Craxian ultimatum. "Lieutenant Sharma." A voice came from behind her. Maya turned to see an older woman in a uniform without insignia. "Yes, Captain Diana Wells," the woman said, offering her hand. "I'll be escorting you to your new assignment." As their shuttle departed Ceres, Diana remained silent until they were well underway. "You're probably wondering where we're going," she finally said. "The thought had crossed my mind, Captain," Maya replied. Diana studied her for a moment. "What do you know about Project Sentinel?" "Only rumors, something about secret ships." "Not just ships," Diana said. "The most powerful vessels ever built by human hands." She tapped the shuttle's console, bringing up a navigation map that showed their course leading toward Neptune. 6 hours later, they approached what appeared to be an ordinary ice asteroid in Neptune's Trojan field. As they drew closer, Maya noticed subtle anomalies in its structure. "Sentinel Outpost Triton. This is Guardian Transport requesting access," Diana transmitted. "Authorization Wells 7 Delta 9 Epsilon." For several seconds, nothing happened. Then, to Maya's astonishment, the surface of the asteroid began to shift, revealing a massive hangar bay. "Welcome to Project Sentinel, Lieutenant," Diana said as their shuttle glided into the opening. Inside the hangar, Maya gasped. It wasn't just a hidden base. It was a construction facility the size of a small city. And suspended in the center, held by massive clamps, was a ship unlike any she had ever seen. It was enormous, at least 2 kilometers long, with a design that somehow looked both ancient and futuristic. Its hull was dark gray, almost black, with minimal external features except for what appeared to be weapon ports closed flush with the surface. "The EA's eternal warden," Diana said, pride evident in her voice. "One of the Guardian fleet, and as of today, I am its captain. You've been assigned as my second in command." Maya struggled to find words. How long has this been here?" "This particular outpost? About 180 years. The ship itself was completed 230 years ago and has been continuously maintained and upgraded. There are 26 other Guardians hidden throughout human space." As they docked with the facility, Maya noticed frantic activity everywhere. Technicians preparing systems, officers in unfamiliar uniforms rushing to stations, supply drones moving equipment. "The awakening protocols were initiated 12 hours ago," Diana explained as they walked through the station. "All Guardian vessels are being prepared for combat." They entered the ship through a massive airlock. Inside, the corridors were wider than standard vessels, with subdued lighting that gave everything a solemn atmosphere. The walls were made of a material Maya didn't recognize, not metal or composite, but something that seemed to absorb sound and vibration. "The bridge is this way," Diana said, leading her to a lift. When the doors opened onto the bridge, Maya stopped in her tracks. Unlike the cramped, efficient bridges of modern Earth vessels, this was a vast chamber with stations arranged in concentric circles around a central command platform. Holographic displays hovered in the air, showing system status, sensor data, and tactical information. "Welcome, Captain Wells," said a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "I see you've brought our new executive officer." A holographic figure materialized on the command platform, a tall, androgynous human form composed of shifting blue light. "Lieutenant Sharma, meet Prometheus," Diana said. "The ship's eye. He's been active continuously since the ship was built." "It's an honor to meet you, Lieutenant," Prometheus said, inclining his head. "I apologize for the rapid introduction, but we have limited time. The Craxian fleet has accelerated their timetable and is moving toward the Nova Terra colony. We estimate they will arrive in 18 hours. Diana's expression hardened. "Then we'll need to be there to meet them." "Prometheus, status report. All systems at 98% readiness. The other Guardian vessels are reporting similar status. The automated defense platforms have been activated throughout human space." Diana nodded and turned to Maya. "Lieutenant, I know this is overwhelming, but we need every qualified officer. Are you prepared to serve?" Maya looked around the bridge, at the unfamiliar technology representing centuries of hidden human ingenuity. She straightened her shoulders and nodded. "Yes, Captain. I'm ready." "Good," Diana replied. "Because in less than 20 hours, we're going to show the Craxians exactly what humanity has been hiding all these years." Ancestral fire. Admiral Vorex stood on the bridge of the Craxian dreadnought Inevitable Conquest, watching with satisfaction as his fleet approached the human colony of Nova Terra. The planet glowed blue-green in the view screen, home to nearly 12 million human colonists. "Status of the human defenses," he asked his second-in-command. "Minimal, Admiral," replied Commander Zex. "They have a small orbital station with point defense capabilities and 3 patrol vessels. Nothing that could challenge even one of our cruisers." Vorex's scaled lips pulled back in what passed for a smile among his species. "Have they responded to our ultimatum?" "No, Admiral. Their Earth Defense Council has maintained silence." As expected, these humans are soft creatures, scientists and traders, not warriors. Vorex settled into his command chair. "Prepare the first wave of bombardment. Target their major population centers. I want the other human colonies to see what happens to those who defy the Empire." "Admiral," interrupted the sensor officer, her voice uncertain. "We're detecting unusual energy signatures at the edge of the system." "Explain," Vorex demanded. "Unknown vessels, sir. Large, very large. They appear to have just dropped out of FTL." The tactical display updated, showing 7 massive objects approaching the Craxian fleet. Each was at least 3 times the size of Vorex's dreadnought. Impossible, Vorex hissed. Human ships aren't that large. Check your sensors. Confirmed, Admiral. 7 vessels of unknown configuration, approaching at high speed. They're not broadcasting any identification. Show me, Vorex ordered. The view screen shifted to display the approaching ships. They were unlike any human vessels Vorex had studied in preparing for this conquest, where modern human ships were sleek and utilitarian. These were angular and imposing. Their dark hulls seemed to swallow the light from Nova Terra's sun. Open a channel, Vorex commanded. After a moment, the screen displayed a human female in a uniform Vorex didn't recognize. Craxian vessels, she said, her voice cold and controlled. This is Captain Diana Wells of the Earth Alliance ship Eternal Warden. You have entered human territory with hostile intent. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed. Vorex laughed, the sound echoing across his bridge. An impressive bluff, human. Your species is known throughout the galaxy as peaceful explorers. These vessels may be large, but I doubt they have teeth. Diana Wells' expression didn't change. You were warned. The connection terminated. Admiral, the tactical officer called out, alarm evident in his voice. The human vessels are powering up weapons systems. Energy readings are off the scale. Raise shields, Vorex ordered. Prepare all batteries. Target the lead ship. Before the Craxian fleet could execute his commands, the lead human vessel, the Eternal Warden, began to transform. Sections of its hull slid apart, revealing massive weapon ports that glowed with blue-white energy. What are they? Vorex began, but never finished his question. The Eternal Warden fired. There was no beam, no visible projectile, just a ripple in space between it and the nearest Craxian cruiser. The cruiser suddenly compressed, as if crushed by an invisible hand. Its shields offered no resistance as the hull crumpled inward, the entire vessel imploding before breaking apart into floating debris. Stunned silence filled the bridge of the inevitable conquest. What was that? Vorex whispered. Unknown weapon type, the science officer responded, voice shaking. It appears to have distorted local space-time, creating a gravitational shear that the cruiser couldn't withstand. The other human vessels moved into formation, their own weapon ports opening. 2 more Craxian ships were destroyed in rapid succession. One sliced cleanly in half by a beam of intense white light, another disintegrated by what appeared to be a swarm of microscopic machines that consumed its hull in seconds. Return fire, Vorex shouted, panic edging into his voice. The remaining Craxian vessels launched everything they had, energy beams, missile salvos, plasma torpedoes. The human ships made no attempt to evade. The attack struck their hulls directly, and did nothing. No explosions, no damage. The weapons simply dissipated against whatever material composed the massive vessels. Our attacks are ineffective, Commander Zex reported, disbelief evident in his voice. Their hulls appear to be absorbing or redirecting the energy. Another Craxian ship vanished, caught in a field of swirling green energy that seemed to disassemble it molecule by molecule. On the Eternal Warden's bridge, Lieutenant Maya Sharma watched in awe as the Guardian fleet decimated the Craxian forces. Despite her years of military training, she had never witnessed combat on this scale, and certainly not with such a technological disparity. Prometheus, Captain Wells called out. Status of the Nova Terra colony. The AI's holographic form shimmered beside her. No damage sustained. The Craxians didn't have time to launch their bombardment. Wells nodded and turned to Maya. Lieutenant, open a channel to the Craxian flagship. The view screen activated, showing Admiral Vorex. The Craxian's composure had vanished, his yellow eyes wide with shock and fear. This is your final warning, Wells stated calmly. The Earth Alliance has maintained peace for generations, but not because we are weak. What you're witnessing is a small demonstration of humanity's defensive capabilities, technologies we chose not to share with the galaxy. Vorax struggled to regain his dignity. These ships, they're impossible. Your species hasn't had enough time to develop such technology. These vessels were built centuries ago, Admiral, Wells replied. Before we even met other intelligent species, they'd been waiting, hidden throughout our territory, maintained by generations of guardians who hoped they would never be needed. She leaned forward slightly. You have two options. Withdraw all Craxian forces from human space immediately and never return, or be destroyed. There will be no negotiation, no surrender accepted. You have 5 minutes to decide. The communication ended, leaving Vorax staring at the tactical display. Of his 15 warships, only 6 remained, including his flagship, against a force that his weapons couldn't even damage. Admiral, Commander Zex said quietly, we should retreat. Report what we've discovered to the Imperial Council. Vorax wanted to object, to demand they fight to the last ship as Craxian honor demanded. But he had a higher duty, to ensure the Empire learned of this threat. Prepare for emergency FTL jump, he ordered, his voice hollow. All remaining ships, retreat to Rendezvous Point Delta. As the Craxian ships vanished into FTL, cheers erupted across the bridge of the Eternal Warden. Maya found herself embracing the officer next to her, caught up in the jubilation. Captain Wells allowed herself a small smile before raising her hand for quiet. This was one battle, not the war. The Craxians will return with a larger force once they've analyzed what happened here. And we'll be waiting, Prometheus said, his holographic features solemn. All Guardian vessels performed at optimal efficiency. We sustained no damage or system degradation. Wells nodded. Signal Earth Defense Command. Inform them that Novaterra is secure and request further instructions. Later, as the Guardian fleet established a defensive perimeter around Novaterra, Maya joined Captain Wells in her ready room. The captain stood before a viewport, watching as maintenance drones examined the ship's hull. Do you think they'll come back? Maya asked. Wells considered the question. Eventually, but not soon. Fear is a powerful deterrent, and today we gave them plenty to fear. She turned to face her executive officer. The question is, what will the rest of the galaxy think when word spreads? Humanity has presented itself as peaceful explorers for decades. Now they know we've been hiding fangs. Will other species see us as a threat? Maya wondered aloud. Some will, Wells acknowledged. Others will respect our restraint. We had these weapons all along but chose not to use them for conquest. Prometheus materialized in the room. Captain, I've received orders from Admiral Harrison. The Guardian fleet is to remain on standby alert, but return to hibernation protocols once the immediate Craxian threat has been neutralized. Wells nodded. So we go back into hiding. With modifications, Prometheus added. Admiral Harrison believes limited knowledge of our existence will serve as a deterrent against future aggressors. The galaxy will know humanity possesses advanced defensive capabilities, but not the full extent or nature of those capabilities. Maya looked out at the stars, thinking of how differently she now saw humanity's place among them. We're peaceful explorers who happen to have planet-killing weapons hidden throughout our territory. A necessary contradiction, Wells said. Peace through the capacity for overwhelming force, combined with the wisdom not to use it unnecessarily. That's humanity's gift to the galaxy, and our burden to bear. As the Guardian fleet completed its mission and prepared to return to their hidden outposts, word spread rapidly through the galaxy. Rumors of human warships that could destroy entire fleets, of weapons that defied known physics, of vessels older than most species' interstellar travel. The message was clear. Humanity comes in peace, but never mistake kindness for weakness. Behind their scientific vessels and trading posts lurked silent sentinels, watching and waiting, ancient guardians of a species that had learned the cost of war long before they reached for the stars.